Russia deploys corvette in Black Sea to intercept commercial vessels? UK Defence Intelligence.
This post received a score of 4,400, with an upvote ratio of 97%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Blocking food exports, they are really taking the high road.
In a way, pulling out of the grain deal has been catastrophic for Russia. They are alienating key friends in Africa, undermining Chinese Belt and Road food initiatives, and now they have to actually enforce a blockade when before the Turkish inspectors were basically doing that for them. It is expensive and requires a lot more sorties and patrols by Russian vessels, increasing wear and fuel consumption by the fleet. Meanwhile, ships engaged in patrol are unable to provide anti-air or missile support to the ground forces.
Let's not pretend it hasn't been economically devastating for Ukraine, though, too. And everyone else, for that matter.
The difference is, Russia is burning their economy and alienating any friends that might help them rebuild. Inversely, every bridge Russia burns marks somebody else who will invest in Ukraine's economic recovery.
And probably join NATO while they're at it.
Becoming a full-fledged member of NATO is very costly and not particularly advantageous for many nations, but it's certainly true that many nations will seek alignment with NATO and hope to occupy a sort of preferred friend status as a result of this. Interoperability is required for NATO forces, which means having, more or less, compatible arsenals. This doesn't mean a country has to use exclusively NATO firearms, but it does mean they have to have a reserve of firearms approved by NATO because NATO forces are trained to be able to work together seamlessly using the same weapons and tactics when need be. NATO has even considered adopting versions of the AK family of rifles, but these will not just be any off-the-shelf surplus rifles, they will be made to a NATO standard.
Having two nations that border Russia join NATO is a massive, one-sided advantage.
Oh, no doubt. I was more commenting regarding some of the interest that's been shown by other nations a little farther from the front lines. The so-called buffer states that share a border have always been where NATO was most focused. Finland was always notable for its absence from NATO because of its direct proximity to and history with Russia, but now they're in too. Sweden to a slightly lesser extent but roughly the same story.
A decade ago, I had the privilege of sharing electronic eng courses with both Ukrainians and Russians. The Ukrainians were nothing short of brilliant gentlemen, while Igor was arrogant AF, routinely cheated off the other Russian guy, got caught trying to cheat off me, and was fired from his unpaid internship. Even while Crimea was being annexed, the Ukrainian fellas never lost their composure or treated the Russians any differently. Plus, Ukrainians are brave AF, and apparently kick Russian ass very, very well.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.